welcome to the... I didn't know we were going right there. Oh, shit. Hi, welcome to the RKKR Horror Book Club. My name's Rob Lamontang. That's Caitlin. Don't touch my stuff! Yes. And this month's book we're reviewing is The Auctioneer.
Yeah, by Joan Samson.
Samson.
Yeah, finally we're able to record together in the same room.
Yeah, we are live. That's not how this works. Yeah, I traveled all the way down to beautiful San Francisco and forced Caitlin to read the book. And
literally finished it this morning.
Yeah.
So, yeah, worked out.
I slogged through this shit for a week. And yeah, that's my review right there. Boring.
Okay, well, let's get into it. What is this book about?
I'll tell you what this book's about. This is about a town full of losers who get their shit stolen from them. So losers from Losersville refuse to do anything about anything until the very last couple of pages of the book. And it was exhausting to listen to that.
So the real synopsis of this book is that this auctioneer comes to town taking a couple things that people want to donate, but then eventually he just kind of gets his hands on everything and slowly bleeds the town dry.
Somehow, some way.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what my gripe about this book is. I thought that Pearly was going to be, like, the book's called The Auctioneer. I thought we were going to have a lot more of the auctioneer and showing more of the way that he was manipulating the town into giving him this stuff. Why would every time people show up and they just eventually keep taking more and more stuff, right?
Yeah.
When they got the guns, I was like, these people are idiots.
Okay, I know what you're saying because I feel the exact same way too. Because he would come and people would offer giving him stuff. You know, it was okay.
Yeah.
Because it was good for the community.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it was like they would kind of hint at, okay, now the cop that's with him kind of puts their hand on his gun.
You got
on
more
his
to
holster.
Donate there.
Yeah, and then, but the other thing too is that he was almost very cultish, like he was keeping people away from talking to each other. They didn't trust each other. They were kind of making each other feel bad, like this guy's not worthy of living in this town. Look how disgusting his stuff is. Like he was very manipulative. But I will say that it wasn't enough. I would have been like, no, and shut my door. And if they lit my house on fire, I would have called police somewhere else.
Yeah,
I would drive to another town.
But that's what it turned into the entire time for me. Was coulda, shoulda, and woulda the entire time. Like, what are you people doing? Put up more of a fight.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't find that the auctioneer was that much of a convincing bad guy. He was more of like you saw him in a couple pages, and then the rest was family turmoil and drama about like how things are going on the farm, right?
Yeah.
I didn't ever feel like the auctioneer was an entity that could actually force me to do it. Like I didn't get like a sense of, oh my God, his presence is so strong and like I feel like I have to do that. What you just said, like he used a dude with a gun.
Yeah.
Like he just robbed people. You just got robbed and you didn't do anything about it until the very last bit of the book.
Yeah.
Like that was so boring. I kept waiting for like an actual like demonic entity or something that like there's a pull, you know, like if John's wife at one point was like, you know, oh no, John, we need to give this stuff to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if there was something that she was possessed by or like, you know, really brought in by the pull of this guy, but they weren't.
Mm-hmm.
The entire time was like every time they show up, don't give him that. Well, we're gonna give him that.
Yeah.
And it was boring. Like it just got boring to me. I would have liked it if there was more characters in the town that you see interactions with the auctioneer as to, you know, why he got you to give you this stuff. But it was just like was a long.
It was a long shot. Like because in the beginning they make it seem like he's just so charismatic and
Yes.
he can sell anything.
Yes.
And then he starts to humiliate and degrade them. And it's like, it was a really big stretch for me.
Between interactions.
Yeah, to be like, yeah, what was this pull that made you guys do this? But you know what I will say? You and I talked about it when you first came here on this trip, is the movie from 2022, Speak No Evil. And at the end of that movie,
right,
the main characters who are tortured and whatever go to the bad guy and they're like, why did you do this? And he's like, because you let me. And that's literally what this guy says at the end of the book.
Yeah, I get that.
So
none of you stood up and said nothing about it.
Yeah.
But that's not entirely true because, you know, the mom.
Yeah.
Ma didn't she stood up and she was constantly putting her foot down. It was like singular interactions with this guy. People were definitely like, you can't take that. You can't take that. And
Yeah.
he just I unfortunately, I really did not like this book. Like, not at all.
Yeah. And the thing for me is the end, the big finale is they all go to this parade. And then everyone kind of starts putting together that Pearlie is bad by the end of it. And that he was actually starting fires, which was another way for him to manipulate the town, right? So he was starting the fires.
Right.
No one else was. Which is another like...
But John did, right? So
John started one.
Right.
But Pearlie was doing all of them.
Oh, God.
To manipulate, because he was scaring them. He was making them fear each other.
Right.
But then, so they go to this big parade. He's talking and everyone's like, wait a second. Like, I think you're kind of bad. And then, so it's like this is when you guys had a breaking point. This is when he was selling children. He was auctioning off children.
Yeah.
And this is when you're like, you know what?
Yeah.
I've had enough.
Yeah.
And we can all put our foot down.
Give me my stuff back. All I kept thinking the entire time was, I think you should leave. Like that, like, give me that. Give me that. I'm just kidding. Give me that. Like, the entire time. Because it was just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
When, like, this is your line in the sand, like, hey, wait a minute. Wait a darn minute. This is when I've had, like, but the children. Yeah.
And you know what's crazy, too?
The guns was, like, nuts to me, too. Like, what?
Yeah. And then the other thing is, at the end of the book, did you pick this up? That he basically, like, they didn't say it, but it's kind of implied that he, like, had a child with a child.
With a very, a teenager.
And the parents knew.
Yeah.
And, like, now this is the line?
Exactly.
Like, it was very silly. And, spoilers, obviously, the very end, he doesn't even get what's coming to him.
No, there's no comeuppance, there's no nothing. And I don't even know if there's, like, a part 2 of The Auctioneer. Did you look?
I know, and I'm not going to.
No. Good for him.
Yeah.
You stupid town.
You deserve it. Just kidding.
Yeah, you did deserve it, you idiots. An American town where they took your guns was just the most unbelievable part to this, to that whole story. I was like, in no place would this ever happen. Like, it was just so ridiculous. But, again, I feel like we were only reading half of the book. Because there's the whole town of other people that we could have seen interactions with a lot more depth, a lot more characters, like exposure for the auctioneer himself. I just felt like I was like, okay, wait, when do we get to Pearlie being a bad entity? Like, he's just a jerk right now, but like, I want to know, like, I want to see him be like, holy shit, this guy's a real evil son of a bitch. Like, it was just weak. It was really weak. And the only time that family, like, John would stand up was when he would, like, yell at his wife about something. Like, what are you doing? She's on your team. Like, this sucks. Like, your whole house is getting robbed, and now you're, like, getting constantly frustrated with your wife. Like, what are you doing? What the heck are you doing?
Yeah. Did you read this book, or did you listen to the audiobook?
Read some of it, and then I switched to audiobook because I was running out of time.
That's fair. That's fair.
And I can't remember the guy who did the audiobook, but he did not. He was not very good.
No.
Not very
okay,
good
that's
at
a
all.
bummer.
No.
I will say, did you read the introduction?
No.
That was written by Grady Hendrix?
No.
It was really cool. That is what got me really excited to read this book.
Okay.
But he basically talks about Joan Samson when she wrote this book. Samson, yeah.
Samsonite.
Swanson.
Yeah.
So he was saying that when she wrote this, people living in big cities, it was in the 60s, 70s. So there was a Vietnam War and people were so against war and very anti-government. And then they were leaving big cities because they wanted a simple life and they all wanted to move to the country. Right. Joan and her husband being two people that moved from a city to a small town somewhere to find what
hustle and bustle of the big city.
Exactly.
Right.
And so there was this fear in rural towns of all these big city folk who are now moving into the country and taking on this other life. And I was like, this is fascinating because, like, what do you think is happening in the world right now? How many times do I send you and your wife Instagram reels about, like, we can buy this mansion in the middle of nowhere and we'll just be farmers?
Yeah,
like
constantly. And I know, like, my biggest fear is that, like, no, I'll be doing all the farming and it'll suck because it'll just suck. But the houses are amazing.
Right?
If we filled them with child labor, like what Pearly was selling, we could run our own commune and stuff.
Yeah.
That is a joke. We would never do that. But I see what your point is with. I could feel like there was an undertone of the times when this was being written. I totally got that like, yes, okay, there must have been this like grand fear of like, you know, they even made like describe some of the like the people from the cities as being like chubby and like you know, not hardworking people that are coming out, you know, and like I did feel like, okay, this is of the times. There's just something of the times that this is why they're so scared. And if you read the descriptions, like explosive, chilling, I challenge anyone to resist it after reading the first few pages. New York Times. Really? Like, but at the time, it must have been like a shocking thing to think about, that like somebody would come into a small town and just literally start taking all the shit.
Yeah.
Having you give it to him willingly almost. Like, so I get it, but I was just waiting for a spooky element to come out from it, and there just wasn't that element, and I guess that's what honestly I kept thinking, I wish I was reading Needful Things. You know, like where the devil has shown up and now he's like getting people to in this small town to like change because he's like a character that is, you know, creepy and unsettling, and there is like this like mystical thing about him, and that's what I was like waiting for. And it just didn't happen. So just...
Well, let's cut to the chase then. What do you give this book out of 5? What's your rating?
2. I wish I was reading Needful Things out of 5.
Okay, well, I give this book 2
Stolen Children.
I was gonna I don't want to say 2 red wagons out of 5.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think that this is a good place to cut because we're in my tiny office and it is like 100 degrees in here.
It's friggin' hot, man.
I'm sweating, and we did it.
Yeah.
Next month we are going to read. Let's read Sleep Tight by Rob. I don't have my glasses. Who is that?
Sleep. By J.H. Markert?
Let's read that.
Yeah, okay. Let's do that. Sleep Tight by J.H. Markert.
I have no idea what this is about, so we'll find out next month.
I love going into books like that. That's how I got Auctioneer. I had no idea what this is about. None. And I don't regret it.
Yeah.
Because it's fun. Let me just say this again. Read the book yourself. You might enjoy it. And it is fun to actually listen to these things and read these things and then talk about these things. So, yeah, that's always read what we suggest or don't suggest, whatever. Sorry.
All right. Bye.
Bye.